Hello, welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. I've been lagging behind on videos just because of the whole thing, but this is the best time to make content because, you know, there's a lot of time spending at home. I wrote this script literally months ago and I was supposed to film it, made excuses in my head, but now there's no excuse. So if you support my content, please go on there and subscribe and give it a like and share because that means a lot. This video is going to be about happiness. So happiness is such a subjective thing. Happiness can mean a multitude of things to the individual. It can mean different to you, it could mean different to me. So if happiness is a subjective thing in life, so that basically means we give our own meaning to it. But why do we try so hard to mimic other people's happiness? Let me explain. We as a collective, we celebrate other people's achievements and happiness. We do this via sharing their posts online or just following them on their social media accounts, just basically wanting to know what they've done. And this can also be traced back 50, 60 years ago. All this could be described as just media. But back then it was through newspapers and watching the news or just watching TV in general. We as a species love to know what's going on. We literally crave what other people are doing, where they've been, what their backstories are. I mean, why do you think vlogs and just YouTube content of just daily life is so popular now? The thing is, we experience what they experience vicariously. There is a lot of good content creators right there. They make inspirational and inspiring stuff, and we're so into what they make. It feels like we experience it through their lens, through their lives, through their eyes. It's such a fascinating thing. But here is where the issue lies. We see their happiness through the lens. We see their great life where they have a massive house, a great family, everyone's happy, they're inviting their friends, they're going from one place to another, and internally we process that and we think, wait, they're happy, I'm not that happy, so that means I need to do what they're doing or get a lot of money to be happy. And I think that's what the problem is right now, especially with my generation and the society right now. I'm not saying that we've all been forced to think that you can only be happy if you're a content creator or a social influencer, but it's really hard not to think like that. When you see all these people making money just posting a photo, making a video, doing ad spots in their podcasts and so on and so forth, it's so hard to not think like that. So what we do is we try and mimic what they do. And some people might say, hey, aren't you doing that right now? You're making videos, you have a podcast. Are you trying to mimic them? And at the start, yes. But then as you go on, you eventually realize that I'm doing this because I love what I'm doing. But the sad thing is, most people don't realize it in time. And that's when the downward spiral starts. It's when you follow this social influencer and you try to be like them. When you start noticing the results aren't going your way, you start getting rejected by X, Y, and Z, and you're just not seeing the results that you've wanted and you work hard for. This is when it's so detrimental to our mental health. And this is when you have to kind of reset. You need to think, you're not supposed to strive for their happiness. You need to start striving for your happiness. So it can either go in two different ways. Number one, we realize their happiness is just within our fantasies. We're living through their happiness vicariously because obviously we consume their content. But if we notice that their reality is our fantasy, our minds will slowly just say, hey, maybe I need to fixate on my own happiness and not theirs. That's the correct answer. Or number two is when we strive for their happiness. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. You're probably thinking, Ernest, you have no idea what makes me happy. And that's true. But I can guarantee 99% of you guys aren't doing your utmost to do what makes you happy. You're not pursuing your happiness. You're just contemplating and just making excuses for yourself, and that is the hard truth. For me, pure happiness is that internal fulfillment of gratification. It's that feeling that you get that you're so confident at what you're doing that it's going to make your life so happy no matter what the outcome. And that's truly what ultimate joy is, right? Doing what you love and not really caring about what the results or the outcome will be. In our day and age, we are surrounded by an awful amount of stimuli. Our brains literally can't cope with the amount of things that's going into our phone, to the news. It's overbearing to a point where we don't realize that we're just running on autopilot and we don't step back and think about ourselves, what we really want. It comes to a point where it's so hard for us to break away from this norm, this constant stream of information. And it comes to a point where it's hard for you to sit in a room by yourself, alone, with silence. Like, for some of you guys, you probably found that super awkward, but that's not our fault. It's just because of the way our society runs right now. We can't take silence. But that will all change if you make the change yourself. So I haven't been clubbing for almost 2 years. The last time I went clubbing was the start of my 3rd year. Looking in hindsight is always a lot easier looking in hindsight. I went clubbing because I was purely unhappy, and I forgot where this theory was, or I forgot where I read it, but this professor said people who surround themselves with loud music and substances that make them forget where they are or make them pass out, they're just blocking reality. They're afraid of what they're living in right now. So what do? They escape from it. Obviously, it's hard to escape reality. It's hard to escape facts and where you are right now. So what do? They block it out by loud music, substances, alcohol. Just that one night or a few nights of forgetting about reality is enough for them. And I've realized that that's what I was doing. I couldn't face reality. I couldn't face the facts in front of me. And that's why I thought maybe going out isn't really the best idea. Maybe I need to fix myself first before I can find my happiness. We are the only ones that control our happiness. Other people's happiness should not play a factor on ours. I know in my last video talking about the update about the whole situation, I said that we need to start thinking we over me. And yes, we should. But with internal happiness, we also need to put ourselves to a pedigree, to a podium, let's say. Because we also need to think about our own health and our own physical and mental health. So you need to do your best to make sure that you're happy, and that will ultimately radiate to everyone that you surround yourself with. Our time creating happiness is finite. We need to take whatever comes at us whenever we can to the best of our ability. Do not let external factors determine your life and your happiness. It's very important that you should put yourself and your family and your loved one first. And don't let the social media, the external factors that we see on the news or everywhere else affect you. That's probably the hardest thing to do, and it's easier said than done. But you need to find your own way. And when you do, everything will be so much better. But the question is, are you gonna do it? Thank you so much for watching this kind of monologue vlog video. I'll be doing more of this just because I do like writing these kind of things. It's just another way for me venting out whatever's going into my head. If you did like this video and you made it to the very end, check out either my channel or a video here or videos or whatever there, and subscribe. It's really easy. Videos is something that I love to do, and if you do subscribe and give it a like or a share, it really will mean a lot to me. Thank you, have a lovely day, stay at home, stay safe, protect our NHS, and I'll see you in the next one.